You are watching Star Television Network on Channel 21. This is the National News Bulletin on the hour. First, the headlines. Members and supporters of the Coalition for Change Party have welcomed the former Vice President and the party's presidential candidate, Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana, with a float parade from Aberdeen to the party's head office on Congo Cross. An engagement with women and other stakeholders on land rights with the theme "We Want Back Our Lands" has been organized by the Sierra Leone Network on Rights to Food, SILNOF. The Sierra Leone People's Party aspirant of Constituency 075 in Port Loko District, Azik Mustafa Conte, has assured his people that he will provide effective and quality representation if elected to the House of Parliament on March 7th. And in sports, the second edition of the Inter-Villages Annual Football Competition in Songo Town, organized by the Director of Sports Ibrahim Bangura, has ended with the Kisi Koya football team emerging as champions. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in detail with me, Amadullah Mwanaba. An engagement with women and other stakeholders on land rights with the theme "We Want Back Our Lands" has been organized by the Sierra Leone Network on the Rights to Food, SILNOF. This is part of the organization's continued advocacy on land rights in the country. Adam Asila has more.
Following the launch of a campaign titled "We Want Our Land Back," the Sierra Leone Network on the Rights to Food, SILNOF, which is aimed at ensuring that women in the rural areas have access to land and been given the rights to own land, has held a partners meeting with women in the rural areas and various stakeholders to urge government to implement the National Land Right Policy. Lansana Hassan Sowa, the program officer of SILNOF based in Makeni, highlighted the importance of women having access to land and some of the challenges women in the rural areas have been faced with in accessing land to continue with their farming activities.
Right, SILNOF got involved in it in 2012 when we realized that the influx of multinational companies were impacting on women's ability to own and access land. Because the region that we work in the northern region, is more or less characterized by tradition that does not allow women to own land. And so therefore, if companies are coming in and they're acquiring large tracts of farmland, women are always left out in the negotiation processes. And so thereby they are not benefiting from any incentives that are coming, in regards to the land leases. So SILNOF realized that if we are going to succeed in our Rights to Food campaign, then we have to ensure that women are able to access, and not only access, but to own land on their own, because we all know that women in the rural areas are more or less, they are more involved in farming even than the men.
He went on to state that efforts have been made so far to get local authorities to understand that women must have access to land. He then called on government to implement the land rights policy.
So trying to change the mindset of our local authorities, because before now it was difficult to even get them to understand that yes, women have the right to own land. So what we try to do as SILNOF was to see how we can embark on massive sensitization and mobilization, bringing all these actors together, the local authorities, women and other key government officials, through what we call multi-stakeholder engagement, for them to actually understand the essence for women owning land and having access to land, for agricultural productivity.
The coordinator for Women in Action and We Want Back Our Land campaign, Ramatu M. Fauna, highlighted some of the challenges women in the rural areas have been faced with in terms of accessing land and what they as women think must be done to salvage the situation.
We women are property, and property no go get property. Because we women are property, even if na you papa in land, they not agree, they be leader for them. They get them for yourself. One thing, when you get land for yourself, you get beaucoup advantages. You can work when you want work, you harvest when you want harvest. When you say that harvest, they don't get for pay, for say they go pay debt. But we find out, say, when you day as woman, you day na this land business here, where you papa gets, then they say you na woman and not forget that property day. Then if you commode the culture, especially me na the not accommodate, we get some laws then the way we say them binding, they all say woman no forget this, woman no forget that. The man they not agree for the woman and get land. Simply because they say if woman get land, you go feel superior by himself, then all the benefits where then the man then they get, you the woman they go get them. Like for example, them side who side them company then they go and take. Whether they come for that land business, whether they decide, they know they even allow women for the side they decide. The money where the one the multinational companies then they come with, now the chief then get them. And when they say chief, now they not now woman. And even at the southeast, now the same thing. Even though we they think say them may for be better because they get woman paramount chief, but they say they suffer the same way on land business as we they suffer. Business when they say woman for get land, woman for this, woman for that. And in the final say even inside the constitution, so inside the way then they talk for say woman for this, woman for that, where then don't they say if culture permits. And if culture permits or tradition permits, that they should say if yeah, woman not for talk na yeah, so woman not for talk. If other side woman for talk, then woman for talk. So now when will they get then to here, what will let government do? Whatever they don't say this in a law, then they implement that law.
The women present, however, expressed optimism in changing the existing trend of women having access to land, and they then expressed thanks and appreciation to CILNAF for their continuous efforts in ensuring that the voices of women are being heard in land rights issues in the country. Adama Silla, Star TV News, Freetown.
Members and supporters of the Coalition for Change Party have welcomed the former Vice President and the party's presidential candidate, Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana, with a float parade from Aberdeen to the party's head office on Congo Cross. Precious Levy covered the event and now reports.
The former Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana, storms Freetown as supporters, sympathizers, as well as well-wishers did a float patrol for him from Pelican to the Coalition for Change C4C office at Nelson Lane, Congo Cross, where the former Vice President addressed members of the Fourth Estate and answered to a few questions.
But I believe I will serve as Vice President of this country, in which you people gave me the mandate twice together with under the President Kourouma's regime, and you're all aware of what happened. And I decided that this time around, we have to give peace a chance. Enough of our being humiliated, enough of the senseless attacks on them, enough of the senseless civil war that took place because of the dissatisfaction of an individual. And I say to you all, the time has come, and the time has come for which us Sierra Leoneans should have the opportunity to change the leadership of this country. It is time for us to have a paradigm shift in the leadership and to show to the people of this country and the rest of the world that we are no more a country that is known for senseless civil war. But we are a nation that respects the rule of law, to which I stand very tall, that in the midst of the abuse of the constitution of this country, I decided that I would not take the law into my own hands. I decided that my people should not suffer any longer. I decided that my people should not run away. But I decided that I will run and come back and fight. For he who runs will come back and fight.
To start with, the issue of the ECOWAS ruling. I had mentioned that Sierra Leone is a signatory to the ECOWAS Treaty. They have honored their responsibilities in the past in terms of rulings from the ECOWAS Court. But I say to you, it is not an issue for me to go back to the office of the Vice President. And I said to you, it's not an issue for me to receive any remuneration. It's an issue to get the record straight and give peace a chance for the people of this country. So if I have to come back at this hour, let me say to you, the works have been done and the people are ready for that change. Coming in at this time does not mean anything. But I know all of us as Sierra Leoneans are ready to put our country on the right path under the coalition for change.
Reporting for Star Television, I am Precious Amabel Lebin.
The Sierra Leone People's Party aspirant of Constituency 075 in Potloko District, Azik Mustafa Conte, has assured his people that he'll provide effective and quality representation if elected to the House of Parliament on March 7th. Here is the report.
An aspirant who went unopposed in Constituency 075 in Potloko District, Azik Mustafa Conte, has described his candidacy as the preferred choice under the ticket of the main opposition Sierra Leone People's Party, with the promise providing effective representation for people in Potloko. Speaking during the meeting at the Potloko Court Barre, Azik Mustafa Conte, who went unopposed, said he is contesting to become the Member of Parliament for Constituency 075 because he has the passion and love of his people and also fighting to provide for them with basic facilities like pipe-borne water within the township of Potloko.
That is something you see from the people there. The people in the sofa. In the sofa. Could you believe the sound board? Take your lights. We don't get water there. We get a sofa. We don't get poles once we get lights. Lights or lights. We don't get nothing there. When they come, I don't tell for do good. I'm going to say, I'm going to declare as aspirants for SMP. Like go to Parliament. Like get away. All the projects on the right, like going for push projects. I don't get lots of projects here.
An executive member of the Sierra Leone People's Party, Dr. Abbas Bundu, who endorsed the candidacy of Azik Conte as he went unopposed, said the party is not a man party as often perceived, but a party for all Sierra Leoneans. He called on the people of Potloko to throw their support to the party so that the party will be victorious come March 2018 presidential and general elections.
That what they will put a common at a month for say, I'm a member party. Abbas Bundu, until the man fragmented, and I take inside it, and I take me another. And I tell them why I will support Madam You. Tango. Madam You don't promise me say where he can to power. They go make una dem come round, begin them when they go school. Now una begin blow.
The Northwest Regional Chairlady of the Sierra Leone People's Party, Madam Margaret Kagbo, encouraged party supporters to exercise their franchise on the candidacy of Azik Mustafa Conte, whom many believe will make a huge impact in the 2018 polls.
This time not for a limited game. Now we all join us together. Now we work out. House campaign. Tell the man where they are ABC. Pin and law. Let's talk to that. Let's see this. That was when they ABC. Pin and law. Let's talk to that. Let's see this. That other party don't got NPC. Now we brothers there. However I look at us, now brothers there. No what's there. No something there. No we just the pastor in brothers. We must say like God in power. They will push me for them to go before. And they make una. We hear everybody not make mistake this time around. We watch now in life.
Andrew Bestman reported.
You're still watching the National News Bulletin here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. Let's now join Hilton John for some sports updates.
Thanks to Lamgana in the studio for some sporting news. We start with the local team. Congratulations to the Kisikoya village team. They have been crowned champions in the second edition of the commemoration inter-villages football competition organized by the Director of Sport Ibrahim Bangura in the National Sport Council. And also we saw 100 bag of cement was donated by Director of Sport Ibrahim Bangura to the village mosques as a way to develop the youth and also gravitate the attention of the youth from negative thinking. More especially, we are approaching the national election come the 7th of March 2018. So congratulations to the Director of Sport Ibrahim Bangura and also the winning team, the Kisikoya village team. They have been crowned champions in the second edition, January 6, Inter-Villages football competition organized by the Director of Sport. Some things get a mixed feeling within the international team for Sierra Leone born Ibrahim Kabo Jr. His father was the former captain of the national team, Ibrahim Kabo. According to Ibrahim Kabo Jr., he said that he will not play for Leon Stars or for Sierra Leone. He was playing for Crystal Palace Football Club. Now he has signed for a team in Belgium. According to the young boy, that he wants to play for Belgium than thinking of playing for Sierra Leone, the national team Leon Stars. So this is the concern now of football fans to see how maybe they'll cajole the young boy for him not to play for Belgium and think about his own motherland, that is Sierra Leone, for him to represent the country Leon Stars. But according to Ibrahim Kabo Jr., that he wants to play for Belgium than thinking of Sierra Leone. Maybe it's because of the issue of a match fixing against his father, Ibrahim Kabo, the former captain of the national team, Leon Stars. Finally, for today's sport news in the international team, it's indeed a big case for Chelsea Football Club to see whether they'll get a win against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup semi-finals first leg. Chelsea will play against Arsenal tomorrow, Wednesday. Yet to see whether Chelsea will come out victorious or Arsenal Football Club will come out victorious against Chelsea. Despite we saw Arsenal Football Club miss out in the FA Cup against Nottingham Forest when they were defeated by 4-2. So Chelsea will play against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup first leg semi-finals. That's all for sport for today. Back to Ilamrana in the studio.
Thanks very much, Hilton, for that sports update. And that is how we end the National News Bulletin here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. Thanks very much for watching, and keep watching. The weather forecast is coming up next.